I had received this question from somebody who was saying that, she's been following intuitive eating. She stepped away from dieting, but now she's been told that she's pre-diabetic and so wants to be able to eat in a way that's going to be supportive to her, but really struggling with feeling like she's just not going on another diet. And I can totally understand that. And I wanted to talk about that because when you've been dieting for so long, for so many years, and you kind of taste this freedom of, just letting go of all of that, you can almost develop this aversion to doing anything that resembles what you had done before when you were dieting. So I know for me, an example of that looks like I used to go to this juice bar place in my neighborhood that had all of these, organic, vegan foods and juices, and I used to love it. And when I stopped dieting, it just like I didn't even want to go near that place. I almost kind of looked at it negatively, like, oh, it's a diet culture place. Like I can't go there anymore. But then once I started moving further along my journey and started finding this balance again in my eating, which comes very naturally is when you stop dieting, but just takes a little while to get there, I noticed that I was starting to want to go back to this place again. And there was this part of me initially that felt like I couldn't in some way. It felt like I was contributing again to diet culture, or the negative aspects of wellness culture. Like my mind had just made this black and white, this place now bad, and I can't go there. But this is coming back into this balance point, into this middle. It's not good or bad. There's no right or wrong. It's actually just really paying attention and noticing what is it that makes sense to you and feels good to you. So when I found that balance point, I realized, I was really craving some of their salads and their bowls that they had that I really enjoy with these fresh vegetables. I was craving some of their juices and their smoothies. And so, it's just silly to all of a sudden cut that off just because the mind made it into something bad, which is not what it is. So, now all of a sudden that place became open again and an option, and now it's just another place to go. So I just wanted to bring that up because that can be sort of this feeling when you're having to maybe start to follow a diet again, because let's be honest, like diet in a way can be following a particular food guideline. Now the problem is that in our culture, it's almost always associated with just trying to manipulate your body size. But diets in and of themselves aren't bad. Diets can be very useful. So I gave an example to this person saying, if you had celiac disease, you would want to follow a gluten-free diet. That would just make the most sense. It would be the healthiest thing for you to do. But if the mind made this association now saying, I can't do that because that's a diet, well, that's now silly because now that's actually hurting you. It's hurtful to not follow a gluten-free diet if you have celiac disease. So I was kind of encouraging her to look at this and say, does it just make sense then to eat in a way that's going to balance and manage your blood sugar because that's what's most healthy for you? That would just kind of make sense. And when it comes from that place of moving towards wellness, well, now it's not you have to follow this diet. If you're connected to wanting to do what's good for you and what makes sense, there's more of a motivation to do it. It's just like, why wouldn't you do it? So for example, if I know I'm prone to getting cavities, I don't necessarily enjoy brushing my teeth, but I certainly feel a draw to brush my teeth every day so I can at least prevent the amount of cavities that I get. It's just something that makes sense. But when you're in the early stages of disengaging from dieting and that whole culture and lifestyle, you can feel this repulsion to wanting to do anything like it before. But trying to put things in boxes, good, bad, right, and wrong, actually ends up hurting you because now you're cutting yourself off from resources and things that could be helpful. So it's about actually just coming to a place of neutrality and looking at everything as neutral. It's not that you're following a diet, it's that you've noticed you need to eat, or you're eating in a way that works for what's going on for you in your condition in your body. It just makes sense.